Hi, guys. Mrs. Jones here. I wanted to talk with you about communicating effectively. This week's lessons in RTI have been about respect. And I think that this is a subject that we could all benefit from, the students and the teachers. Um, Sometimes there's a breakdown in communication, and I think that it's something that we need to work on so that we're all communicating effectively. We're all understanding each other because when there's understanding, learning can happen more easily. So, to start, I'm going to talk to you about the different types of communication that exist. The first type is called passive communication. And I want you to look at this girl here. This is, a passive person is somebody who will just hold everything in, not stand up for themselves. If a teacher yells at you or comes down on you or simply just says something that's untrue, maybe because they're mistaken, or if another friend perhaps says something that's untrue because they're mistaken and you just don't speak up for yourself and let it happen. um, you're considered a passive communicator, and this isn't always effective because it makes you feel bad, and then you don't talk about your feelings, and it weighs on you, and those things can build up, and it's unhealthy. You should always talk about how you're feeling, and hopefully if you are a communicator who's passive, hopefully you have somebody to talk to about those types of things. The second type of communication is aggressive, and I picked this picture here. And I think everybody knows what aggressive means. An aggressive communicator is someone who is harsh and is quick to maybe raise their voice or give orders rather than requesting things or asking for things. It's give me this and do this now. And um, I think sometimes I remember being your age, and it's easy to think of teachers in this way, that they're being aggressive toward you. Not all teachers, but some have a more authoritative teaching style, and they tell you what you need to do and when you need to do it. Rather than always having a communication with you, it's just this is how it is, and that's it. Um, but kids, being a teacher now, some students also have this way of communicating, being aggressive. They're very quick to get defensive when you ask them a question about something, or when you're trying to come up with a solution on how to finish a an assignment or something. People shut down, and that's aggressive behavior. So that is a second type of communication. The third type of communication is called passive aggressive. And you see here this lady who's got this happy face, and she takes her happy face off and she's got a sad face behind it. And a passive aggressive person is somebody who on the outside appears to be okay with whatever is happening, but deep down really has some big feelings about it. And so they lash out in little ways that may not be perceived as aggressive, but they're unhappy. For instance, um, I'll just give you a personal anecdote. I am a very passive aggressive person on occasion. I'm working on this every day because, we always need to keep improving ourselves and learning. But one thing that I tend to do is with the chores around the house. I'll stomp around if I'm upset about doing the chores rather than just asking my daughters or asking my husband to help me. I stomp around and I throw a fit and I act all mad that I'm having to do the housework. When if I would just simply ask nicely, they more than likely would help me and then nobody would fight. So, being passive aggressive is not the most effective way of communicating because it causes hard feelings. When I stomp around and I get mad, then my husband and my daughters feel like I'm angry with them, and that puts everybody in a bad place. So, we're gonna get to the assertive communication. Here's our fourth type of communication, and we've got this little blue person here on a pedestal who looks like they're glowing. And I picked this picture because an assertive person is someone who is able to communicate how they are feeling without hurting anyone's feelings or without coming across as being rude. So, this is the most effective type of communication. It's the best way to express how you're feeling. It is the best way to come to a solution on a problem because no one gets mad, everyone stays calm for the most part, as long as the other person is also communicating assertively. So let's talk about where we get tripped up with communication. Um, the first one would be speaking to adults. Oftentimes, as students, I think you're wanting to voice your opinion to the adults, but you don't know how to do that without getting into trouble. Um, for instance, maybe you didn't get an assignment done, but maybe that assignment that the teacher's talking about was one that you were supposed to do on your Chromebook, and Cami messed up and you couldn't get it turned in. So you don't think it's fair, something's unfair. You don't think it's fair that the teacher is docking you points or coming down on you for not turning the assignment in, because how are you supposed to do it if technology is not working, right? Well, let's talk about how we could communicate through this problem. The first thing you need to do is stay calm, because I guarantee you, if you fly off the handle or get defensive or cop an attitude, your teacher's not going to want to work with you. And that's true in the real world too. If Mr. Brooks came to me as one of his faculty members and asked me to do something and I didn't think it was fair, do you think he would allow me to not do it if I copped an attitude with him? Probably not. He would still make me do it. Plus, he would reprimand me and tell me that it's not professional to act that way in the work environment, right? So, if we stay calm and we try to explain ourselves without getting mad, more than likely your teacher's going to listen to you and you're going to come to a better solution. Also, 9 times out of 10, there probably is something that you are responsible for, that you need to take responsibility for or apologize for or admit that you've done wrong. And in this case, it's that you didn't communicate to your teacher that Cami wasn't working, right? So if Cami's not working, you could have either let your teacher know during a break or emailed your teacher and said, I can't get my assignment to work. How would you like me to proceed? Or could I get a paper copy so that I could complete the assignment on time? Right? So if those were things that you did not do, it's best to apologize and say, I'm sorry that I wasn't more responsible for my assignment. I should have communicated to you better. Is there anything that I can do to make this up so that I don't lose points, right? Because that's asking for a solution that you can both agree upon. More than likely, your teacher is going to work with you if you follow these steps, right? If you fly off the handle and you say, I didn't do the assignment because the computer screwed up. How is that my fault? I don't want to, I shouldn't have to do it again just because the computer messed up. That's not fair. Well, not everything in life is fair, and unfortunately, your job here at school is to be a student and do your work. So, if you can't do your work because of technology, it's also your responsibility to communicate that to whoever is assigning the assignment. So, take these steps and this advice and think about it, and you know decide: is this something I need to work on? Which kind of communicator am I? Am I passive? Am I aggressive? Am I passive aggressive? Or am I doing a pretty good job and I'm being assertive for myself and standing up for myself without being rude, right? These things will make you a more successful student. If you don't think so, try it for a week and see how it works.